Hi everyone, this is Niharika from Your Legal Career Coach. We are a mentorship platform for law students, and on our YouTube channel, you will find interviews with students and industry professionals, which will make your journey easier. Today, we have with us Sonya Mohan, ma'am. Ma'am graduated from ILS Law College, Pune, and pursued her master's degree from University College London. She has worked at Shusaku Yamamoto, which is a law firm in Japan. And in this session, she will talk about her journey from law graduation in India to working as an attorney in Japan. Welcome, ma'am. I request you to please introduce yourself to our audience, after which we can begin with the session.
Thanks a lot, Niharika. Well, uh, Hi everyone. I'm Sonya Mohan. I began my journey of law from ILS Pune, and then I took it forward to London. I studied my master's in law and litigation and dispute resolution there with a scholarship. And then just the destiny could have it, I moved forward with my practice in Japan. So this has been my global journey so far.
Right. So to start off the discussion, let us talk about your early background a bit. So after your graduation from ILS Pune, you worked for a year at a law firm in India, after which you applied for your master's. So could you tell us why you thought of the work experience was important before you pursued or applied for your master's?
Yeah, so I worked for 2 years before I could pursue my master's abroad. The reason why I wanted a work experience was because it was 2020, it was the year of 2020 where COVID had struck. And I think it wasn't very rational to immediately go abroad and start the master's because they were also pushing for virtual classes, which was not realistic. You pay lakhs of rupees for the masters, and then if you sit for virtual classes, it doesn't make sense. So I did work here in India at a law firm and with Justice Vijay Daga. He's an acting arbitrator. I gained a lot of experiences, especially practical experiences, really realistic insight into laws. How's the working? How's it like simply filing in different civil suits and cases? I learned that. And then I started my journey into actually, chalking out the different universities I wanted to go for, and also side by side I was looking for scholarships. I used to interview for scholarships, get rejected also. It was quite a very disheartening process, but ultimately it's very fruitful when you eventually bag a scholarship and get into your dream college. So it was a good experience. And also regarding work experience, yes, it made me a very realistic individual because I saw many students who had immediately graduated, and when they joined masters, and people who had work experience who had joined masters, the very basic difference was as soon as we saw for in the job market, the law firms were actually picking out the students who had work experience, because how will you explain your transferable skills or your experiences much better than work experience? So I think I had that plus one with me. That's why that helped me land a job.
Right. So what inspired you to pursue a legal career in Japan, and how did you first come across this opportunity to practice there?
You know what, Niharika? Actually, a lot of people just slide into my DMs, be it on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and they say, "That's so cool! Like, how did you plan your journey to Japan?" To be very fair, I never planned my journey in Japan. It just happened. I told you, as destiny could have it, it just happened, and I'm very grateful and thankful to God for that experience. So it was the year 2022. I think the very beginning of 2022, where I was sitting in London and I was looking for jobs. The international legal market was flooded with a lot of job placements, but still they were like, we want 5 years, 10 years PQE people coming up. So it was a little disheartening again, because although I had 2 years of experience, they were still asking for more experience. So I was interviewing with other international law firms in London, but I remember that very day in March, that job update popped up at my UCL work email, where they were calling out for legal professionals, foreign lawyers, to be accepted at an international law firm in Japan. So I was like, why not? Like, why shouldn't I apply?
Right.
And I had a discussion with my father also before that. I was like, okay, this is a law firm in Japan. Like, should I go? Should I not? And my dad was like, you are in your freaking 20s, and this is your time. Like, you should get up and explore the world how much ever you can. So I just sent my resume, and as Japanese people are like, punky and disciplined with regarding their work, they immediately replied by saying that we have reviewed your resume, we'll take it forward, and the best part was they said that there are going to be 6 levels of interviews
Mm.
and one written test. So it wasn't easy. I was like, okay, at least my resume was selected.
Right.
So yes, I went with the flow, and the process, I wouldn't say that it wasn't smooth at all, because going through the LLM submissions and exams and with other interviews, I was giving this interview, and my interview went till a month, like a month. And there were 6 levels of interviews. First, they took my written test, like they wanted to judge how my writing skill is, and they gave me time also. It was a time bound written test. So they gave me an essay to write and something about me, all those personal questionnaires. And after this, they took it to the personal interview level. It was fun, but intimidating as well, because it was an hour long. In fact, one of the interviews took 1.5 hours long. And and I was very excited because interviewing with Japanese professionals, how would it look like? But
Right.
they made it very seamless for me. Like, it was a very interactive interview. One thing I realized that they really wanted to understand what my personality was like,
Right.
especially apart from technical interviews of technical questions. Of course, they wanted to understand whether I would, seamlessly get into their work culture or not. So
Right.
this was their main aims, which I realized through the interview was.
Right.
So I applied in March and I got my offer letter in May. And then, yeah, after graduating, I just proceeded going to Osaka. The law firm wasn't even located in Tokyo. The headquarters was in Tokyo, but I went to Osaka. So Osaka is a place where not many people speak English. It's pure Japanese. So it was a challenge of its own, but I took
Right.
it, and I feel blessed.
Right. So, did you feel there was any difference in the interviews that you went to here in India and the interviews
Hmm.
there? So,
Yeah,
like
yeah, very much.
interviewer mindset, I'm asking, is it any different
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
is it the same?
very much, very much. So in India, we generally focus on the technical aspects of the interview, whether the candidate knows only it's just law, and law, right? But abroad, what I found was they after so the first stage, what they screen through their resume is like how much skills you have, how much experience you have, what all you can offer. After doing a background check, of course they will take a technical interview of yours, but they will not stick too much on your technical interview, because they think that ultimately when they hire you, they'll train you to
Right.
go through the challenges, the technical challenges you'll face, because nobody is prepared with law since the moment they are born with, right? Even after passing through the law school, I would still say I'm a student of law. I don't know a lot of things. So they also have the same insight regarding that. So all the interviewers, especially Shusaku Yamamoto, they were just trying to gauge whether I will seamlessly blend into their work culture or not,
Right.
whether I will be able to manage the different stress that would come with a lot of work. And they were trying to understand how well of a team player I will be, because if I applied to various different other international law firms. None of them were interested in taking technical interviews first. They were firstly doing personality based interviews, and how well the candidate can ace soft skills and
Right.
working in a team, and that matters a lot.
Right. So, can you explain the process of becoming a licensed attorney in Japan after graduating in India? And are there any specific exams or qualifications that one needs to pursue for the same?
So the thing is, Niharika, since I never aimed for becoming a licensed attorney in Japan, I'm still not. I worked as a foreign attorney where I was taken by an international law firm. So I don't know how exact is the process, but what I know, there are only two ways of becoming a licensed attorney in Japan. Firstly, where you are a Japanese citizen who studied in a Japanese law school and knows Japanese, will be able to become a Japanese Japanese accredited attorney. And the second way is like you can become a foreign licensed attorney in Japan, but it's a very like subjective process, because you have to first apply to the Minister of Justice, and the Minister of Justice has laid down various requirements. First requirement is like you should have at least 3 years of PQE. Right now, I think they have amended it to 2 years of PQE, but they will also check your bank accounts whether you have enough financial banking, backing to come to Japan and practice. And if you're able to reside in Japan and going through living in Japan, where I've seen the prices so bad, I think you need to like do a good research and good amount of homework if you're planning to get into becoming a foreign licensed attorney there.
Right. Since we talked about the language challenges, how important the knowledge of the Japanese language for practicing law is in Japan. Since you did not know the language and you still managed, so can you tell us about the challenges you faced by not knowing the language and how you overcame them?
I mean, see, honestly, when I was interviewing with a Japanese law firm, the first question that I asked to my interviewer was, I don't know Japanese. Like, why will you be hiring me? Like, why me question popped up. So he was like, okay, he explained me the entire scope of my service there, that you are going to come as a foreign attorney and we expect you to manage everything in law based in English, because they already have a good cream set of Japanese lawyers and they have one team of foreign lawyers. Now, this law firm deals with a lot of cross border transactions spanning all over the globe, especially with America. So we were supposed to be in the foreign lawyers team who knows the English part of it and deals with the entire English terms and conditions. So that part I was very satisfied with, that I have to just go and do the English part of the work. But that was only till the part of work, right? Now you don't know Japanese and you're going to a country where Japanese is widely spoken. English is spoken, but that is in Tokyo, but not in Osaka. So that was a main challenge. So I just had my Google translator in hand and I was very scared. I was very scared. But I think Japanese people, as you know, they are very polite and very disciplined, very sweet. They all helped me. They always tried. In fact, some of the shopkeepers at 7-Eleven, we used to talk in sign languages. Like if I wanted this, if I didn't have change or something, they're
Right.
very accommodating. So in that aspect, I was lucky.
Right.
But we also tried learning Japanese,
Right.
like some of like how to say thank you, arigato, gozaimashita, or konnichiwa, that is good morning. So
Right.
we also took our good efforts.
Right. Can you share some insights into your experience working there? And what kind of legal work did you focus on, and how was your experience so far?
So I'll answer this question first. What was my legal work? So it was like majorly it was patents, like it was technology. As you know, Japan is into technology and IP and patents and trademarks. Mainly into patents I was dealing with. They had a great amount of clientele, like they had Nobel Prize winners to great pharma companies to like big social media giants. We were handling their patents and to even simple contract drafting and negotiations to also dispute resolution.
Right.
Now, like how my experience went was like it was a steep learning curve for me. I mean, none of us, like whichever foreign lawyer or even a foreign paralegal came, none of us were hands-on with patents law and especially Japanese patents law.
Right.
So that was the best part. They knew that we don't know a lot of things, but they were ready to train us. They were very like hands-on with that. They had their senior professionals who actually came and sat with us and explained the entire Japanese patent law, how it works, and it was great. Like the first week went only with the training session, and then they sat with us for the next month with how we draft, from drafting simple emails to how we actually draft the patents to how the contracts are drafted. The smallest nitty-gritties were taken care of by the foreign attorneys. So I think again, how I stress that they were not looking for the person who knows everything. They
Right.
were just looking for someone who could be accommodating, who could learn at their fastest pace and could start contributing from as the day, like whenever they came.
Right. Are there any specific practice areas or industries where foreign trained lawyers are in high demand in Japan?
Definitely, like especially Japan has started to open his its borders, and India has also opened its borders regarding law firms and laws. As far as concerned, I think Indians are in great demand in Japan, especially in the tech area, IP laws, and Also a lot of something like fashion law and art law, something very different also can be done there.
Right.
A lot of scope because I see every other girl in Japan with a shopping bag. So I think there's a lot of demand for luxury, fashion, art, and IP and technology. I Yeah, that these are the main focus areas which I can say that any Indian can ace.
Right. Can you provide some guidance on the visa or the work permit process for foreign lawyers who are looking to practice in Japan?
I see this area. As you know, the international law firm gave me the employment, so they took care of the visa process. But the visa process did take a lot of time. It was like at least it took 3 to 4 months in my case. They only sponsored it, but I think if someone wants to become a foreign licensed practitioner, they can just contact the embassy, and they are very responsive. Like they responded to me also whenever I was very anxious regarding my visa. They
Right.
always replied saying that it's under process. So I think that can be taken care.
Right. Lastly, what advice would you give to law students and young lawyers in India who are aspiring to practice law in foreign countries and especially Japan in your case?
I think s- law students in India have to be a little open-minded because whenever I interact with any law student, uh, and they get to know me how I'm working in Japan, they're like, "How are you working in Japan? How is this possible?" This you have to be open-minded. If your thinking is just limited that okay, I will do only some work limited to my home country, then you'll probably never be able to think beyond. I think since my days at ILS, I used to participate in international moot courts. I've judged international moot courts. I did my master's specifically international laws. I wrote my LLM thesis also related to international laws. I think it's your passion. If you have the passion in yourself, the devotion in yourself that you want to increase your practice area to various jurisdictions, you can definitely do it. And if a person like me who was raised in a small city called Nagpur, and she can definitely go and earn a degree or master's degree in London and can work in Japan. Like anyone can do it. You don't have to spend lakhs and lakhs of money.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
so anyone can do it.
yes, with this, I believe we've covered the important things we needed to know about working as an attorney in Japan. Thank you so very much for accommodating our request. I am very positive this video will be of utmost help to everybody watching it. Once again, on behalf of ILCC, I thank you for being here with us here today, and I wish you the best for your journey ahead.
Thank you so much, Niharika.